Well, I have been waiting for this time of year in hopes to take you on a frost flower walk. Now today is hopefully the perfect day. It's only about 20 degrees, so let's go see if we can find any frost flowers. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain and welcome back to our channel. Well, I have been waiting for a cold day like today to go on a frost flower walk. Now, Philip first introduced me to frost flowers when we started coming to Kentucky. And the interesting thing about frost flowers is they're not a flower at all. They are actually ice. Now, I did an entire blog post on the blog all about them and all the scientific stuff about them that I could find. But today I want to take you and try to find some. Now, what a frost flower is when the temperatures dip down into freezing, any moisture that is still inside of the stem of certain plants, it's not all of them, just some plants that are more prone to creating frost flowers. The moisture inside the plant freezes and it's pushed out through little fissures in the plant stem. Now, these tiny little fissures are little tiny holes, and so the ice is pushed through in very tiny streams, and it creates what looks like a flower. Now, every frost flower is unique, and they only bloom until the sun finds them. So they're kind of rare. Now, so far this year, I've only found one. But we're going to go and see if we can find some today together. Now, I've been waiting for a cold morning like today. It's only about 20 degrees, and I would much rather be cozy in my bed. But I want to find some frost flowers. Now, what we're looking for is that we're looking for shaded areas, because once the sun hits them, they're really going to melt. We're also looking for kind of wet, more moisture-prone areas. Now, right down here near the creek is a really good spot. Now, sometimes frost flowers look like a little bit of trash on the ground, like a piece of plastic. So don't overlook something that might look like plastic on the ground. Now, we've also had quite a bit of a drought year, so I don't know how much moisture the plants still have inside of them, because that moisture is what needs to come out, push out to make the frost flowers. Now, frost flowers can be very simple, and some of them can be very ornate. And it just really depends on the plant and how much moisture they have inside of them. Now, let's see if we can find some. Now, that is actually a frost flower. Now, not a very good one. Probably the most pathetic looking one I've ever seen. But it is a frost flower. Let's see what else we can find. That's good. That means that there are some out here. Now, actually, where I'm standing, I see a few more. So I'm going to stand here for a minute and give you an opportunity to see if you can see some in my frame. I actually see two. And neither one, actually I see three. None of them are very ornate, very simple, but I can still see them. Let me show you. Now this is the first one that caught my attention. And you can actually see how that is right around the edge of the stem, because that's where the frost flowers grow. Now let me show you another one I found. Here's another one. Oh, there's two. This one's that one's kind of cool. Got some cool petals to it. And here's its neighboring frost flower. And I saw another. Where did it go? None of them are big. Oh, actually, I think that was it. This is the other one over here. Oh, here's another. Right here. And look at this tiny one. That's the tiniest one I've ever seen. Now all of these frost flowers are very dainty and small. They get much larger. And actually there's several all over the ground here as we're walking past. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a pretty decent one right in there. Let me see if I can pick that one. Well, there's the pond. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got ice on top of it. So I'm up on the trail in the middle of the property, and this never fails me. This is actually a pretty decent one, and I broke it a little bit when I picked it. But you can see how it's coming up out of the stem. You can see the curls of ice. This is actually a decent one. There are still much better pictures on my blog, but this one is promising. There are some nice ones up the trail. Let's go see them. Now we're getting better. That's actually a really good one. Let's see if we can get the leaves out. That one's really pretty. Now there's several right here. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can see about 8 from right where I'm kneeling. Actually make that 9. 10. Right over there, some more. Let's check them out. There's actually one here, one right there, right up in there, over there, and right in there. Now we've got another one up here on the trail right behind me. Let's go check it out. Now, frost flowers are one of those things, once you spot them, it gets easier to find them. This one's pretty interesting. I hope the camera's picking up the, there's like little stripes of ice. This is a pretty one. Now this is the prettiest one yet. Get out of the sun. I hope you can see this. You can see how it's curved. It's like a ribbon of ice. Now, I definitely encourage you that if you're with children, let them touch them because they're very interesting. Like I said, they're not, my hands are getting cold. They're not nearly as fragile as they look when it's cold and they're not in the sun. And they're just so interesting how they make ribbons of ice. And I just love science. Nature is amazing. Now I see some more. I'm going to try to pick a couple. Now again, if you're on private land like I am, pick all you want. But if you're on public lands, be sure to leave some for the other people behind you to find them. Here I found a few that I uncovered for you. I'm cold. And I successfully found some frost flowers on our frost flower walk today. So I'm super excited about that. Even though it started a little bit iffy, they got better. Now, if you live in an area where it gets cold at night, so it needs to dip down below freezing, you want to hit those first early frosts. We've had several frosts already, so you haven't missed it if you haven't looked yet, because every plant is a little bit different. Now, I have a blog post on my blog all about it. I did all the research. I found out the types of plants that you can look for. And if you know your plants, then you'll know exactly what to look for to find the right plants to find frost flowers. They're all over the country, so be sure to check out that blog post to learn all you can about frost flowers. I know I learned a ton researching it to write it. Well, friends, it's about 31 degrees, so the temperature has increased an entire 11 degrees during our little walk together. My feet are cold, my fingers are cold. It's time to go home and have some coffee and some breakfast. Well, as always, we really appreciate you watching, especially to the very end. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button. We'd love you to be a part of the Kowalski Mountain family. Thank you so much, and we hope you have a very Merry Christmas.